Hello children, welcome to Wandcom. This is the continuation of our chapter acids, bases and salts. I have already completed acids and bases. Now I will discuss about salts. We were using the table salt or the common salt in our day-to-day life in our food, isn't it? That is one salt. But apart from this common salt, so many other salts are there that we are going to discuss here. So, what is the salt? Actually, these salts are the chemical compounds containing one positive ion and one negative ion. So, the positive ion is known as your cation and the negative ion is known as your anion. So all the salts contains one positive ions and one negative ion. So for an example, in case of sodium chloride, it contains Na plus and Cl minus. So positive ion is your this Na plus or sodium ion, or the chloride ion is your anion. This is your cation, this is your anion. If we'll take one example of calcium sulfate, suppose. So calcium 2 plus is the positive ion or the cation, and sulfate 2 minus is the anion. Okay. So preparation of salts. Salts are prepared by the neutralization reaction. That is, when one acid reacts with a base, then salt and water are formed, isn't it? Water are the product. So if we will take suppose one base KOH and acid is HCl, then we will get the salt potassium chloride plus your water. This is your potassium chloride. This is the salt. Or even if we'll take one base magnesium hydroxide plus sulfuric acid is the acid, then we'll get the salt, that is magnesium sulfate plus water. If we'll balance it, so 4 hydrogen and your 2. Okay, now this is a balanced equation. This is your magnesium sulfate. Magnesium sulfate is the salt. Okay, so this is the preparation method for the salt. So then properties. So we'll go for the properties. So salts are soluble in water. They do not conduct electricity in solid state, but in solution or the solution state or in molten state, salt can conduct electricity. Then types of salts. So there are different types of salts. This classification based on their acidity or the basicity of the salts. So based on that, there are basically 3 types. One is acidic salt, basic and neutral salts. So first we'll discuss neutral salt. So the salt which is formed by the reaction of a strong acid and a strong base. then the salt which is formed is a neutral salt. This type of salts don't have any effect on litmus paper. So example is your strong acid plus strong base, or strong acid HNO3 or sulfuric acid, or strong base your potassium hydroxide. Here this sodium chloride is a neutral salt. Here similarly your potassium nitrate is also a neutral salt along with your water. Okay, this potassium nitrate, this is sodium chloride, these are neutral salt because these salts are formed by the reaction of a strong acid and a strong base. Then second type of your salt is acidic salt. So such type of salts are formed when one strong acid reacts with a weak base. Then the salt which is formed is acidic salt. So strong acid, suppose we will take one example of strong acid HCl plus a weak base, suppose copper hydroxide. So we'll get copper chloride plus H2O. So this copper chloride is an acidic salt. Okay, so we have to balance this one. So this is chloride, 2 chlorine. So now this is balanced. So one more we can take one more example of this acidic salt. Suppose we will take HNO3 plus ammonium hydroxide. You know ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. So the salt which is formed ammonium nitrate. This is ammonium nitrate plus water. Oh, this is ammonium nitrate. This is a acidic salt. Okay, ammonium nitrate, and this is balanced, I think. All this ammonium nitrate, check it properly. Ammonium nitrate, water, this is balanced. Because these are acidic salts, so they change the blue litmus into red. Then come to basic salt. Basic salt, that means the salt which are formed due to the reaction of weak acid and a strong base. So weak acids, organic acids are weak acids. So we will take CH3COOH, weak acid, for plus a strong base. For an example, strong base is sodium hydroxide. So the salt which is formed is sodium acetate plus water. This is sodium acetate. This is a basic salt. If we will take one more example, that is formic acid HCOO, H plus suppose a strong base potassium hydroxide, we will get potassium formate HCOOK plus water. This potassium formate is a basic salt, and these basic salts, they change the red litmus to blue. So this implies that they are basic in nature. These salts contains radicals. So two radicals, one is acid radicals and the other is basic radicals. Now you know that radicals are comparatively or relatively very reactive species. They are very reactive species. Here the radicals have the charges. So acid radicals means a salt. Suppose we will take one example, sodium chloride. So sodium is the acid basic radical, and sodium plus and chloride minus. Sodium is the basic radical, because when the salt when the acid and bases reacts, then we are getting this sodium chloride, and the sodium we are getting from sodium hydroxide, which is the base. So because it is derived from the base, so this is basic radicals, and the from the hydrochloric acid, this chloride ion we are getting. So this is your acid radical. So this is basic radical, the chloride is acid radical. So even if we will go for some other salt like calcium, suppose nitrate. So calcium is the basic radical and nitrate is the acidic radical, because calcium comes from calcium hydroxide, or nitrate, this nitrate comes from your nitric acid. So this is acid radical and this is basic. In general, the positive ions are the basic radicals and the negative ions are the acid radicals. So these are all about these salts, and we completed this chapter, acids, bases and salts. Hope you have understood all these terms and whatever the additional terms I told you, like your pH or the radicals. And if you have any doubts, you can send your feedback and comment for further improvement. Thanks for watching this video.